Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is just a weigh-in reaction for the fight tomorrow night between Terence Crawford and Kell Brook. They're about to lock horns and what's going to be one of Terence Crawford's more interesting title defenses in his career. A voluntary defense attempted to be made against Kell Brook. Bob Arum is protected if Brook wins the fight. He has a rematch clause in place for the expiring contract of Terence Crawford. Also has options on Kell Brook if he wins the fight. Every sportsbook has Kell Brook as high as a 7-1, 8-1, as high as 9-1 underdog. They practically feel like he has no chance of winning this fight. A lot of value in betting in Kell Brook, and those are the type of odds you're never going to get Kell Brook, ever. He wasn't even as big as an underdog when he fought Golovkin. He was as high as a 6-1 in that fight. He's even a bigger underdog for this fight against Terence Crawford. A lot of who consider him the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I do not, but he's definitely among the elite fighters in the game. He's on my list, but just not #1. Even though he doesn't have the strongest of resumes, you can't deny the performances that he's had over the course of his championship reign in 3 weight divisions. And despite the resume being not the strongest among pound-for-pound level fighters, he does have a stronger resume than Kell Brook. Let's see if Brook has made the weight successfully here. 147 pounds. And he's made it. Damn, he's looking he looked like he made the weight relatively easily. He's looking trim. He's looking ready. Looks in good shape. Looks focused. Talking a lot with confidence that he's going to knock out Crawford and stop him inside the bubble. Crawford always looked ripped, always looked ready. Weight shouldn't be a problem on his part, and it isn't. Crawford doesn't look like the strongest of guys. He's got that skinny frame, but he's freakishly strong for his, for his body type. I've seen him deadlift, and I've seen him push around much naturally larger guys in his career. So there's definitely no question in the strength or the punching power for Crawford at 147 pounds. It's not gonna be about size in this fight. Crawford's a strong welterweight. He's proven it against naturally bigger guys like Jeff Horn, who's a very strong welterweight. This is gonna be about, who's the better fighter, who executes, who has the better game plan, who's the smarter fighter. And we're about to see an intense stare down. Hopefully nothing pops off, because Crawford doesn't really give a shit if he's got us. Oh, actually, they're separating them. All right, that's kind of lame. That's pretty weak. Yeah, that's real lame. Come on, let's see a stare down. That's what we came here to see. What kind of shit is this? Damn, they're really not gonna let these guys stare down? What a buzzkill. WO welterweight strap on the line. Kell Brook, can he shock the world tomorrow night? He believes he can. A lot of value in betting in Kell Brook. I won't knock you if you do. But, it's interesting. Crawford has an expiring contract. He's practically, setting himself up for a controversial loss here if Bob Arum has other ideas in terms of not letting Crawford go, or maybe upset that Crawford's trying to leave him. The Pacquiao fight fell through. Unfortunately for Crawford, that's the fight he was pushing for and wanted for a long time. The fight didn't happen, despite a $23 million guarantee for Pacquiao. But look, Pacquiao accepted it, but they couldn't push through. With no crowd and trying to fight in the Middle East, it just wasn't. They weren't able to pull it off. Would have been an interesting deal. Would have been interesting had they been able to pull that off. But unfortunately for Crawford, he couldn't get that fight, and he most likely will never get the Manny Pacquiao fight, because Pacquiao has other ideas going forward in 2021. It's hard to say that Kell Brook can shock the world. I mean, I just don't know. He's going into this fight with no trainer. He left his trainer. He has a new trainer. He negotiated this deal on by himself. He left Eddie Hearn. He couldn't even get any UK money for this fight. Not the most potential UK money he could have gotten had he stayed with Matchroom on his end to do the deal for the UK TV. The purchases were reported earlier today, and I'm absolutely stunned that this is a $6 million fight. This fight is costing $6 million in purses, and the question is, how the hell did Bob Arum do that? This is not a pay-per-view fight. There's no crowd. It's inside the bubble, and he's guaranteeing these guys $6 million combined in purses. $4 million for Crawford. He's getting his guaranteed minimum, which is $4 million for every fight he fights, no matter what. He has to get $4 million, no matter who he fights. That's his guaranteed minimum. And Kell Brook is walking away with a cool $2 million for this fight. The stare down clock is still going. Still going. Alright, they finally broke off the eye contact. Crawford's very competitive, wants to break you mentally at the weigh-ins. But yeah, how the hell did Bob Arum come up with $6 million for this fight? He's most likely taking a loss for this fight to fulfill Crawford's guaranteed minimum because Crawford wasn't having it. He wasn't going to take a pay cut, and that's probably why there's a lot of strain going on in the relationship between Crawford and Top Rank, not being able to, get that deal done with Manny Pacquiao, having to most likely for Top Rank having to take a loss in order to make this fight, because how the hell you guaranteeing $6 million with no crowd and no pay-per-view and on free TV? But hey, Top Rank is killing it right now, man. They're putting on the best cards since the pandemic, since the sport was able to operate back in June of this year again behind closed doors. Top Rank's putting on the best cards, man. They're putting on strong undercards. They're creating future stars like Edgar Berlanga. I mean, Top Rank is killing it. Another good fight on regular TV, regular ESPN. The success from Lomachenko Lopez, creating another star in Teofimo Lopez. Top Rank has the strongest stable right now, and right now they're putting on the best cards for the most value for your buck. You don't have to spend $100 to watch pay-per-view fights, to watch some good fights. And right now, they're killing it. They're putting on the best matchups compared to the other promoters. PBC is doing pay-per-view cards, some good fights. They had a good fight with Santa Cruz and Gervonta Davis. Matchroom has had a terrible 2020. They haven't had a good year at all. I mean, their best fight was Pavek and Dylan White. But most likely, Crawford will retain his title. But it's interesting. He's at the end of his deal. He's having strained relationship with Top Rank. The setup could be in place. All Kell Brook has to do is be competitive, and it'll be interesting. But you just don't know. I mean, Crawford, he's putting on good performances. He's knocking guys out still. He still looks relatively fresh at 33. He hasn't been in any wars, and Kell Brook has been beaten to a pulp. He's been submitted. He's been stopped on 2 occasions, and he's had 2 broken orbital bones in the past few years. Brook does still look explosive. He still does look that he still has some left physically in the tank. But most likely Crawford wins by stoppage between 9 and 11 rounds. It's hard to go against Crawford, but Brook, for that value, is hard to pass up, man. You can take a chance. I mean, Brook does do well against southpaws. He was doing well against Spence before his orbital bone gave out. And this could be an interesting fight. Maybe we could be in for a surprise. It is boxing. But most likely Crawford wins. And most likely he will sign with PBC next year or maybe do his own thing. But it looks like his days are numbered with Top Rank. So a lot of interesting dynamics in this fight. Kell Brook practically alone in this fight. No trainer. Hasn't been in an elite fight in 3 years. And hasn't had a significant win in 6 years. So we'll see what happens, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.